Your borders are merely a construct. I prefer to think of myself as a citizen of the world.
If all this is true to my own Welcome to the Dreams of Consciousness podcast. If you'd be so kind, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Jens. I play guitar in a band called Iotunn.
How would you describe the music that Iotunn makes?
How I would describe it?
Yeah.
First and foremost, I would say that the music that we create comes from a very free-minded and honest source. I think that's the most important thing to get out. We don't care about which genres we play or which kind of rock or metal expressions we use. We just write and create, and at the end of the line, we try to sort out which ideas are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones. So it's pretty much, I would say it's pretty much all over the place. There's definitely some progressive stuff in there and maybe some extreme metal stuff there, and also some proggy, more hard rock or rocky stuff. It's I don't know. I will go with progressive today, I think.
Okay. Progressive. But would you say that the core of your sound is metal?
Yes, I would say that, yeah.
And I also understand that you guys are very influenced by space rock.
Yeah, we enjoy very much listening to prog, spacey prog music, especially of the 70s. Yes, for sure.
So are we talking like Hawkwind and Tangerine Dream, stuff like that?
Yeah, Hawkwind for sure. Also Magma or Gong or Harmonia or Electric Light Orchestra or anything really. Genesis, King Crimson, yeah, the list goes on. Amandul, yeah, all the crazy 70s stuff.
And now people can probably guess from your accent, but where in the world are you guys based?
We are mainly based in Denmark. Four of us are Danes, and our singer Jon is from the Faroe Islands. So he lives up there. So he basically lives in the middle of the northern Atlantic Ocean.
So let's talk about the history of the band a little bit. I believe you formed Iotunn with your brother Jesper. Is that correct?
Not quite. Jesper started the band in 2009, and he was joined by Bjørn, our drummer, and our former singer. And they worked together for, I would say, a couple of years and made a lot of spacey and proggy rock music. And they were just experimenting with all kinds of rock sounds. And they needed a bass player for a live gig in the summer of 2011. And Jesper called me and asked if I was willing to do that one gig. And I said yes. And after the gig, we had a lot of fun. And they asked me if I wanted to join the band permanently. And I ended up saying yes to that gig. And then the four of us just kept moving on forward. And we spent, I don't know, we spent a couple of years, I don't know, just writing and searching for sound. And we also recorded an album that we didn't release because it wasn't good enough. And so by 2013, we had a very serious talk about how to move further forward in order to get home, so to speak, to end the circle, to be able to create what we believe we were capable of. And that included the decision to open all the gates to the realms of metal music and really just start to write all kinds of metal riffs, whether it was a black metal or death metal or thrash. It really didn't matter. We just, the point is that we opened up for these gates and then slowly Iotunn began to happen. And in 2015, we recorded and had written our EP, and we named ourselves Iotunn. So that decision in 2013 was pretty serious and pretty important. And I would say in 2015, we were set as Iotunn.
So this album that you had scrapped, Did you record the entire album?
Yeah. It's mixed and mastered. It's just not released.
And who were you before you guys were calling yourselves Iotunn?
At that point, we were called Albatross, and before that, we were called Electric Sky. And I also think we were called, before I entered the band, I think it was called Any Color You Like. And there's also there has also been a couple of other band names. I think it's like a rolling ball of snow, so to speak. All those formation years, we just kept on going forward, and in a pretty chaotic, creative reality, I would say. But at the same time, we had to, in this chaos, we had to be very patient, and I think we were, because we took our time. So we had to be patient and just find confidence in that we would at some point, how can you say it, do what we believed we were supposed to do, and that became to be Iotunn.
What was it about this scrapped album that you didn't like?
The basic stuff, the songwriting and some of the ideas in the songs, and I think it's a good album, but it's not I think as a whole, it's not as good as the stuff that we have been releasing with Iotunn. There's some stuff on that album that I would never release, today.
What would you say the biggest change is between what you were writing for that first album and what you guys are doing now as Iotunn?
That album back then was more. That was more rock music, and there wasn't really a sound. It was all over the place, so it didn't sound like a finalized band. It sounded like I said before, we were experiencing and exploring a lot. So it sounded like a band that was under development. So that's why we didn't release it. Where I think on the Wizard Falls EP, you can hear some kind of connectedness between the songs, even though that the songs are very different. So I would personally, I would say that no matter how many expressions that we use, or how many different genres we are playing, or whatever is going on, I would say that across all these layers and all this chaos, there is something that combines it all. That is our band, Iotunn.
Now, is this the first time you've been in a band with your brother?
No. Let me think. We have tried on and off to create bands. My brother and I, our companionship in terms of playing music together goes way back. It goes back to our childhoods, sitting in our rooms and jamming together. And we also played together in a classical guitar orchestra when we were kids. So we have always been playing together. I think around 2007 or 8 or something like that, I think we tried to start up a progressive kind of thrash metal band. But it's very it can be very difficult to get a band together and to find a full lineup and stuff like that. So we never succeeded with that, actually. So we were like, okay, screw this. It's not going to be this band. And then we went separate ways, and Jesper started this prog rock band. And then I joined that band in 2011. So we came back together eventually.
Do you and Jesper write most of the songs?
From point zero, from the point where you got nothing to the point where you got something. That step is done by Jesper and I. So what we do in this band is normally is that Jesper and I, we just write guitar riffs and clean guitar parts and melodies, leads and stuff like that. And then we kind of compose the arrangements based on only the guitar tracks. So we come up with arrangement suggestions for the band and say, hey, here's our thoughts on how a structure could be of an entire song. And then we go into all these creative circles where we have to jam it out with Björn on drums and with Eskil with the bass, and then we go back and forth and change stuff, and something is taken out of a song and something is taken in, or a song is split in half, and the one half is going to be song A and the other half to song B, and all crazy stuff. And that process just moves on until we got something that we feel is great. And then Jon listens to the songs, and he wants to express in lyrics what the songs sound like, so that you always have this feeling that the music and the content of the lyrics are of one and the same breath, so to speak. It's one organic whole body. And sometimes when we work on the vocals, we have to go. We keep on going in the creative circles forward. Maybe some lead guitars needs to be changed because the vocals need more attention, or maybe maybe something with the vocals sounds too good not to be doubled up or something like that. So in to summarize it, Jesper and I, we come up with the basics, all the basics, and then the entire band in circular processes finish off the songs.
So you mentioned your first EP, which was called The Wizard Falls. You recorded that with Flemming Rasmussen. I think most people will recognize Flemming Rasmussen's name from the classic Metallica records, the best ones, basically. What was it like working with Flemming?
That was awesome. That was he's a living legend, and he's just so talented. We had a very good understanding with Flemming, and so on one hand, he's very good at understanding what the artist wants. So when we have our weird way of trying to say something that we would like it to sound like, non-technical ways, but in broader terms, he catches up and he gets it. And the other way around, he himself had very good visions and ideas about where to take music. So it was basically an honor to work with Flemming, and and then he's done so much great stuff. So you also get very much inspired by all the good stories.
So after a few years after the EP was released, you guys took on a new singer, John Aldara. John is known for Hamford and Barren Earth. How did he end up joining the band?
When we had to find a new singer in 2017, we always visionized Jon as the one that could make this band complete. Because what we really wished for was a singer that combined charisma with good lyrics, and a singer that was able to perform very, very well like he does, and also a singer that could do anything vocally. We wanted this larger than life sound with this northern atmosphere put into it, like you hear in his clean vocals. And then beyond that, we just wanted craziness, screams, growls, spoken words, the yelling type of vocals. So we really wished for a singer that could be all over the place, just like the music is. And he can do that perfectly. So we really wanted him. And in 2018, in March, I think, Jesper sent 3 demos to him. And it went pretty quick. From that point on, he just really liked what he heard and said, "I'm ready." And we said, "We're ready too." So he visited us in Copenhagen in June, and we discussed perspectives and band ambitions, and we just had a good time where we got to take the temperature of the entire thing, and that was the start of our relationship together in this band. And then what we did was that he came to Copenhagen for 10 or 11, maybe 12, I think, weekends from November 19 and during 2020, where we worked together, and he wrote the lyrics and came up with vocal lines and ideas and recorded it. And it was a fantastic experience, very inspiring. It was extremely spontaneous, which is great. And at the same time, because he came at weekends, so at the same time we had a very good time to go and listen to the music until the next time he flew to Copenhagen. And then we just went into this creative storm once again, and it just worked out perfectly.
Now, is John very involved with the songwriting? Does he have a lot of input?
Yes, for this album, the debut album, not that much. The album were pretty much already written, and he didn't. He liked it all basically. So when he likes the stuff, he just say he likes it. He's very calm, so it's like that's good. So why change it? So not so much on the first album in terms of arrangement and the basic songwriting. He's more involved with the second album, where he already have had some pretty great inputs on how to structure a couple of the songs. So that's been very, very good. of course, he's totally free in regards of the lyrics. We want, in our band, we want the singer to express his own words. So it's Jon. He's the one doing all the lyrics, and he's also the one who came up with the entire concept and the storyline for the album. Yeah.
So let's talk about this album, this first album. It's called Access All Worlds, and it was released in February of 2021 through Metal Blade. We talked a little bit about the songwriting and the process of you working with your brother and John coming in. How would you compare this album to the previous EP, The Wizard Falls?
I think for people who listen to the EP and to the album, it's pretty obvious what the difference is. I like them both. But for me personally, I definitely, and I see ourselves as a band that evolves and gets better. So I find the Access All Worlds album to be more mature and to be more serious and grounded and to be more focused. And I see that album as more as one piece where I find everything to be as good as we could have hoped for.
I mean, not knowing that much about your band, but the EP feels to me very like more of a classic heavy metal or classic 70s rock influence to it, whereas the album has almost this epic kind of verging into black metal quality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I agree.
Now, was that conscious? Did you guys want to go in this bigger, almost grandiose kind of cinematic direction?
Yeah, yes, yes and no. It's I think on a lot of the stuff on the EP, the sound is figurating on the larger scales also, but a lot of the ideas that became songs on the debut album were written. Some of the ideas were written at the same time as some of the ideas on the EP. So it's, for me, it's just a natural evolution of our sound. I would say that like I mentioned earlier, when we decided to just go all metal, to allow ourselves to go metal and just write metal stuff in 2013, that was a very decisive moment. But from then on, everything has basically just been, a natural progress of writing, and somehow this more cinematic way of writing metal has more and more become a part of how we write. But I tend to believe that that we would like to, in our music, express honesty. And that means that we don't want to, in our daily life, to go and pick flowers in a garden and then make albums where we praise evil. It's not honest. For us, we live pretty normal lives with ups and downs, and we know the extreme goods of life, and we know the dark sides of life, and life is a blessing at times, and other times it's a struggle. So, and to capture that entire energy, or that entire, to get a perspective of the entire picture, that is to me to grasp life with a seriousness. And that seriousness, we want that to be reflected in the music, so that the music naturally, just is an expression from us as the human beings we are and the lives that we experience. And that is involved in the writing process, for sure. So the music sometimes can be calm and beautiful, or it can be sad, and it can be bombastic or epic. It can be dark and bright, and we like, when everything is taken into consideration, we find, being a being. We find that too, and being a being in this context we are in this tiny little planet, in this vast cosmos, we find it all to be pretty extraordinary and pretty extreme, actually. So I think it's natural for us to express ourselves through pretty, epic soundscapes. But also, we are very much grounded on this planet. We are bound by gravity. We are sometimes bound by dark thoughts or struggles in life and stuff like that. So I think that's also a part of our expressions on the album, with the album at some parts being pretty heavy and pretty in your face and and tight and stuff like that. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah, but, but there you go.
Now, this philosophy that you just expressed about the ups and downs in life and our relationship to the rest of the universe, is it also expressed in the lyrics as well as the music?
Yeah, I wouldn't. The music in itself, that's a pretty that's something else, because sound, the vibration of sounds isn't actually words. It's like an alternative language. It's something else. And it's definitely, for us, since we're musicians, something else that we need in our lives, because it gives us the satisfaction that we are able to express emotions through this language. Because you can express yourself through music in ways that you're not able to otherwise. And then you have the lyrics. So you have this other world of music, and then you have something as common as, the spoken word and the and lyrics and lyrical content. And somehow we have to put that together. And as I said before, the music being what the music is, it's expressions, and we have to put lyrics in there. So the way we do make the lyrics is that Jon listens to the music, and then he just tells us what he hears. And with this album, he said, I hear a story about a planet, Earth, where the human beings are, put into a near-apocalyptic reality. And I hear them, a very committed staff of space travelers being on this spacecraft, going into the cosmos, searching for answers or searching for a new home. And we were like, yeah, sure, we hear that too. And then we just went for it. And for this album, yeah, like I said, storyline, the siphon. On the other hand, you have, you have this access into the storyline through the back door, from where you can view the entire thing in a totally different perspective. So instead of it being, just a basic storyline, it's more like different analogies on that raises the basic themes about being human, about searching for answers, and about having questions, and about making decisions, and being in doubt, and about the infinite, and versus home, and the very singular. So you have all these contrasts in human life that I believe you can address on all individuals, or even maybe address on the humanity as such. So that's, I think, in terms of the lyrics on this album, that's the parallel dynamics we're dealing with. You have the sci-fi story, and you have all the basic themes that are that are raised, underneath, so to speak, underneath this storyline.
So you recorded the album Access All Worlds with Fredrik Nordstrom at his studio, Studio Fredman. Fredrik Nordstrom is, of course, very famous and responsible for the sound associated with the Gothenburg bands like At the Gates and In Flames. Why did you decide to work with Fredrik Nordstrom?
We decided to contact Fredrik because we believed that he were able to create a sound that would match our our theories about what to sound like. When we sat down and discussed how we wanted the album to sound, we quickly found out that there might be a lot of problems ahead because we wanted the album to, in terms of time and historical periods, we wanted the album to go backwards, and we wanted it to be modern and be focused on the now, and we wanted it to look forward also. And we wanted the album to be spacey and atmospheric, but at the same time grounded in very brutal gravity. And also we want the album to hit you hard in the face. So what we really wished for was, a lot of contrasts that we hoped could work together. And also the album is it's pretty layered. So there's a lot of stuff going on at the same time, a lot of the time. And Fredrik, from his earlier, the stuff he's done throughout his career, he's very talented, I think, at making everything audible in a very complex soundscape. So that's why we contacted him, because, as I said, we believed he could be the one that could connect all the dots for this album.
Now, was there a particular album, or maybe a few albums that Fredrik had worked on that you guys are very influenced by or very fond of the sound of?
Yeah, we very much like the 90s stuff. We like the punch in the head from Slaughter of the Soul. The In Flames stuff is it's really good, with the lead guitars, acoustic guitars, and also in terms of the more symphonic, epic stuff and the modern sounding stuff, and the way that he can make everything audible in a very complex soundscape. Like I said before, we very much enjoy the stuff he did with Dimmu Borgir. So I think that's some of them.
So the album is out now. How do you want people to experience it? What do you want people to come away from after listening to the album?
I'm not sure if we have created 7 songs or one album. Of course, I would say that every track stands out for itself, so that you can find a specific identity and a specific world within every track. So if people want to pick their favorites and I just want to listen to Laihem for 2 weeks, then that's fine with me. But that being said, what we really aimed for was to create an album experience. So I would suggest, people to take the time and spend an hour with this album and just, blow it out of your speakers and listen to it back to forth, and then maybe also, spend some time on, reading the lyrics, and because I think there's something universal put into those lyrics. Like I said before, there's some very, very essential themes about being a human being that is constantly being addressed on this album. So in that aspect, I believe that most people will be able to connect with the lyrics and, maybe find some kind of peace in mind, or maybe it can catalyze some healthy and good reflections.
Throughout our conversation, you talked a lot about, contrasts of big and small, of quiet and loud, in terms of the philosophy of the band, man's relationship with the universe, but also his place on the earth. Would you say that's the central theme to Iotunn?
Yes or no? Okay, basically I would say yes, because having done the first album as we've done it, and we chose to make the first album as it is, which means that I guess it must be essential for us what we are trying to question or trying to put our spots on this album. So yeah, the stuff that is going on this album is very essential for us and our understanding of living life. But that being said, there's so much more to life itself, and there's so much more stuff to go into. So and we don't want to put our band into boxes. We don't want to limit ourselves. So there's no rules about that what this album is about. That will be our path for the rest of our time. Sure, we right now we discuss back and forth if we want to continue the journey of the Gagne one on the second album, or we might just for the second album continue, but we also have the interest in a lot of other stuff. So I think I guess time will tell where we are headed. It's like I said, we don't want to limit ourselves. We want to work with stuff that we find essential, and basically we find so much stuff essential and important to deal with. You cannot have it all on one album.
So Access All Worlds is the name of the first Iotunn album, and it's out now through Metal Blade Records. Jens, how can people order this album?
They can order it on various platforms. You can order it on our Metal Blade page. And then, I don't, it's many different places. It's also on a lot of different merchandise pages and vinyl pages. And I don't have the entire perspective here, but the Metal Blade page for sure. And yeah, I would check out that page.
And I'll say that I was listening to it on the Bandcamp page. Yeah. Iotunn has a Bandcamp page with both the Wizard Falls EP and the Access All Worlds album.
Yes. That one also, yeah.
And if people want to follow Iotunn online, how can they do that?
You can join us on Facebook or Instagram. It's very easy. It's you just type facebook.com or instagram.com and then slash and then Iotunn. Iotunn. That's it.
So you mentioned the second album a few times. Have you guys already started writing songs for the second album?
Yes, we are. Right now we have written 7 songs, I would think, for the demos or the pre-production or what you would call it. We also have drums and a lot of bass for those songs. And then we have a bit of, I wouldn't say problems, because it's a good problems to have. But we have a quite exciting time right now on figuring out the 8th song because the track list changes from day to day. So yesterday we just decided that maybe we should go for another opener for the album. So yesterday I was writing on that song and I think I cracked it yesterday. So it would be a matter of weeks before we have worked out the drums and bass on that song also. And then after that we're trying to schedule some collective band time where we are all gathered so that we can set right before Björn will start recording the drums. I think during the midsummer or late summer, July or August, I think he will start, or I think he will get the drums recorded at that time.
And what can people expect from the second album?
It's I'm not going. They will definitely be able to recognize it as Iotunn. That I know, and they can expect, with the other releases, they can expect that we are doing our best and we are only releasing music where we believe in every single part of every single song. So we are very serious about it, and we are spending tons of time on making sure that every progression in the music and every transition and everything is on spot. But then there will be. I think the next album might be more dynamic. The first album is very much in your face most of the time. There will be more clean parts on the second album, but the second album will also be a very enormous album. I think it will also run for an hour, and there's some shorter songs and some a bunch of 7-8 minute songs, and then there's a couple of very long songs on that also. So yeah, I think, but it's I think it's a very promising process right now. I believe that it will be a good album.
And do you have any plans for where you want to record this?
Yeah. We, when we go into studios, we're just going in there to mix and master. As with Frederick and Fleming, we already had the albums recorded. We just went in there to have it mixed and mastered. And so this time we will do it ourselves again. So we right now, Björn, he's almost finished. Maybe a couple of weeks. I don't know. The point is he's building his own studio right now. So So that's going to be very exciting for us to have the drums recorded in this studio. So we are hoping for a very good sound again on the drums. So we're doing everything ourselves. Also, with the guitars and the bass, we are doing that at home, and then we will bring when the time is right for it. We will bring everything we have recorded to a studio again and have it mixed and mastered.
And when do you hope the album will be released?
I hope it will be released sometimes during 2023, because that might be realistic also. But basically, the point is that it will be released at the right time, I think, because the right time is when it's done. We don't want to rush things. We work hard and we work often and we work, very focused. So it's not that we don't get stuff done. We get a lot of stuff done all the time, but it's pretty complex to record and to finish a Iotunn album, because it's so packed with music and parts and considerations in the process and stuff like that. So what is essential is that we will make things right, and that takes the time it deserves.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No, just I would like to thank you for reaching out. We are, for us, it seems like we are just getting started now with this album. So it's very important for us and to communicate and connect and to be able to get the word out about our band and this album that we have just released. So for that we are very grateful, and I hope people out there find it stimulating and exciting to listen to this album, and I hope that the album, don't get outrun by time, but that it will keep on being a good one.
Thanks so much, Jens.
Yeah, thank you.